right, so first things first, you'll notice our lovely, beautiful bus that you guys are all familiar with. But you'll notice this secondary rig beside our bus. To be clear, not as nice of a unit, but it's decent. It's decent. And it is driven and lived in by my mom and father. So I think my mom and baby Jean are going to be fighting for screen time. Oh. Because as we know, baby Jean is the new star of the channel, and my mom
is the old star.
Certainly not camera shy. So anyway, stay tuned to these video series because we are going to Mardi Gras. That's kind of our big destination. But after Mardi Gras, we will be on the road for another month. Yeah. Probably going west as far as Las Vegas or something. So it should be like nearly 2 months road trip. The 4 of us, I should say the 5 of us, and these 2 big rigs. Stay tuned for more. With that being said, we are at Weaver's Farm and Furniture, Showroom and Bakery. If there's one thing people know about Amish people, it's furniture. So they got a bunch of nice furniture in here, and it is like 9 in the morning on a cold February morning, meaning the bakery should be a hit. So let's go check it out.
Let's go. Let's go, Jeannie. Woohoo!
Look at this handmade furniture. First of all, you're sliding silently, no squeaks and no creaks. And stay tuned for this. Watch this. Ooh, sideways.
What? Wow.
You're gonna guess the price. Did you see?
I did not see.
Guess.
But I'm sure it's expensive, like at least $500.
$618.
Oh,
American.
all right. Yes.
I mean,
wow.
Nice chair.
The quality. Woo. Wow.
All right, so you walk in the door, and this store, first of all, is a barn. So it's all around so beautiful, and every object in here is effectively a conversation piece. Meaning if you had it in your house, your guests would come over and say, oh my gosh, where did you get that? So naturally, most of it is woodwork, although look at this table. It's got some kind of resin, I would call it. So it almost looks like it's flowing. To be fair, it's a $6,000 table, totally handmade. But if you had that in your house, everybody who came over would say, oh my gosh, it's like beautiful, almost like a river or something, like flowing. And I really want to show you these birds on the wall. It's very talented and special stuff. And so, believe it or not, there is no paint or dye in any of these things.
Wow.
So each piece of wood is a separate piece of wood. You got to use the natural color of the wood, and then you got to cut it on a scroll saw, and it's a bit 3D as well. So at first glance, it's so textured and so colorful, and to learn that it's all just original wood color, it's like real expertise.
Very cool.
I mean, if you had that on your wall, people would come over and say, oh my gosh, where do I get one? It's awesome.
Look at this. This is my favorite, I think. Beautiful.
Yeah, nice, right?
Just beautiful.
Oh, it's not a rocking chair. It's more like a slider, isn't it?
Ah, yeah.
Slide again. Just nice.
Look at that, Jean. High chair for you.
Oh my
really
gosh.
Beautiful one. Right? Wow.
The whole second floor needs to be checked. It needs to
Wow.
Should we put her in it?
Oh my gosh.
Put her in it?
That's beautiful. The Amish TV. Phony.
Phony. It's made out of cardboard. It's little canvas. That's our Amish TV. We got one channel. Phony.
High def for sure.
High def. Now, right here in the furniture store in a barn, they've got these pretzels, which everyone on the internet is reviewing as the greatest pretzel money can buy.
Look at
Really, really highly recommended pretzels.
Wow.
Certainly fresh baked. Looks like, you think it's sweet? You think it's like cinnamon already on top?
They're so good. They're so
man.
good.
They're so good.
So good.
We should take some with us. We should buy more.
Take the frozen ones.
They're so tasty.
Warm and a little bit oily, like so buttery in your mouth. Salty. Got some. Don't even need a dipping sauce. So good pretzels. 5-star pretzel. Let's be clear, 6-star pretzel. Oh, the bite is so good.
Yummy. Okay.
I can say this confidently. This is the best pretzel I ever had.
Wow. Best
Right?
pretzel, hey?
Best pretzel I've ever had.
Best pretzel. Yummy.
Oh my gosh.
Good,
Now everyone was talking about the dipping sauce. I said the dips make it, but honestly you don't need dip at all. It's so buttery and just the right amount of.
Now, what kind of dip did you get,
I
Steve?
got garlic parmesan. I don't know what to dip a pretzel in. I didn't know how to choose. Also good, but
Cinnamon chicken.
even just plain is really good. It's pretty good though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Good pretzel. All right, so we've met a friend named Raymond here, who has a very interesting story about his sort of journey through the Amish world. But first things first, this is your recipe for pretzels. It's the greatest.
So good.
Can you tell us any secrets? Because if anyone at home could make this pretzel, it would be the most delicious thing you ever made in your own kitchen.
Well, we started making these about 6 or 7 years ago, and people loved them so much that we decided to grow the business and open another shop outside of here at the local Walmart. So it's called Weaver's Farm Soft Pretzels, and we hope to grow it into more locations. But we have a lot of people that'll drive 100 miles to come pick up fresh pretzels,
Wow.
and then they usually take frozen pretzels home with them when they come.
That's what we're gonna do. We just had our first one, and we're gonna bring some frozen ones.
Yeah,
We've never
5-star
had a pretzel
pretzels.
like this.
So good.
Life-changing pretzel. Now, at first glance, our friend Raymond looks very Amish because of my untrained eyes. Although you've told me that Amish people would have 3 buttons, no more.
Some of them.
Some
There's
of
different
them.
orders of Amish. So
Okay.
the order we came from, they weren't allowed to have more than 3 buttons on their shirt,
Okay.
Ah.
and no pockets on their shirt.
So your shirt is evidence that you have left the church.
Yeah, and they also couldn't have a hairdo like I have right now. It would be a bowl cut
Right.
instead of cutting their hair a little bit like I did.
Okay.
And,
So you've left the Amish church, although you sort of maintain the look to some degree.
yeah, it was just how I grew up, and I chose to just look like what I did before. And so I changed a few little things, but it's just who I am.
Yeah.
What were some of the reasons and maybe some of the difficulties of leaving the church? I'm sure it's a huge,
Yeah,
life-altering decision.
it is. I mean, that's a big question, but
Yeah.
So I looked at the Amish lifestyle, the Amish life up to a certain point. I looked at it as just who I was. It's part of our church. Everything was within that culture, and so with that, I got to a point when I was about 35 years old that I realized that there was more. There was more to life than just living by a set of cultural rules that I viewed as a lifestyle at that point. And then, as I studied more, I realized that that's all it is a lifestyle. And that the principles of the gospel will be universally true wherever we're at. Anywhere in the world, any culture in the world, the gospel is still, the principles of that are still true. And so that's what made me leave, along with the testimony that I knew that we had a Heavenly Father, that Jesus Christ lives, and that the Holy Ghost was real. I had an experience that changed my life.
Very
So
nice.
you've maintained your faith and actually used your faith as a reason to make this big lifestyle change.
Yes.
Now that you've done that, what is your relationship with? Because I'm sure your siblings and your friends are all still in Amish. So what is your relationship with them?
So I love my parents and siblings and my Amish friends, but they're kind of stuck. They can't interact with me much because of the rules of the Amish church and the repercussions in their life. And not knowing what I know makes that really hard. Because some of them are, I look at it as you ask, can a 2-year-old sin? They're a 2-year-old in the candy store, they steal a candy bar, it's not really a sin. A lot of the Amish people are kind of like that. They grew up in this culture where they don't know that shunning someone is wrong. They've been taught that they have to do it. To people that have joined their church and then left. And if they don't do it, they get shunned too. And you have to know that it's okay before you can leave. Before you have the strength to leave, you have to know that what you believe is true. Right? And that was where I was at. And at some point, when someone gains that knowledge, it's like a seesaw. You have the lifestyle and knowledge, and when the knowledge increases enough, truth, that seesaw tips and you're able to leave. That's one way that I'm sure.
It's a big paradigm shifting choice, and it took a lot of conviction on your part.
It did, and I couldn't have done it by myself without a strong testimony that what I believed was true. There's no way I could have done it.
Right. And nowadays you have this store. You had this the whole time, or this was after?
No, I had two businesses with all Amish employees. I'm 35 years old. And one was a furniture manufacturing business. The other was a retail store like this with no food. And they were both about a 3/4 mile from home. So because of my choice to leave, all my Amish employees had to leave. They couldn't get a paycheck from me. So I liquidated two businesses, moved home, and turned my 1850s barn into a store. And it took me about 3 years to make that transition. So at 38 years old, we opened this store. That was in 2015.
Okay.
And it's been good. You know, we're really grateful that we made that choice. And now we can have refrigeration. We're able to do things with food that I couldn't do before. And that's where the pretzel kind of started.
Right. Yes.
And so we're really excited about the pretzel business. I think that'll be a business that can be grown.
I think the pretzel business will be a hit. Word of mouth will be the best marketing. When you eat that pretzel, you're going to tell your friend, you got to try this
We
pretzel.
already have people that want to open shops.
Franchise. I believe it. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. We love hearing from you. Very captivating speaker. And your story is amazing. And now, the next thing we have to do is buy some more pretzels.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So, it was a great first stop on our road trip journey. We made a new friend named Raymond, who has an incredible story to tell. To be fair, we were inside like 2 hours more.
Right.
So many interesting details to his story. And I wasn't sure how much of this he wants on the internet, but he said the story's already been told on YouTube many times.
Yeah.
It's a pretty public story because I guess once you leave the Amish church, there's this phenomenon called shunning, where most of his family and almost all of his friends like excommunicate him. So it's a whole very sad ordeal, but it's a story of conviction and a new life for him and his family.
Right. He got interesting story and beautiful furniture shop and delicious pretzels.
I mean, great. This is the nature of travel because we go Harvest Host, we see this place, let's check it out, and then it turns out to be total gem. And the pretzels, I can't tell you enough, so good pretzels. Not to mention, filling our water tanks.
Right.
So we left Canada yesterday. It's too cold to have water on board, but it's above zero now. So 75 gallons of fresh water.
Thank you, Weaver's Farm and Furniture.
Would recommend. Great stop. So the journey continues. See you next video.